we started looking at how the Carers Trust could be much more digitally enabled. And part of the problem with unpaid carers is that they've got complex lives, and therefore they're dealing with a lot of different organisations in order that they can solve problems like claiming benefits, like getting support, getting assistance, and everything is digitised now. The government have got this digital first policy that they're implementing. So it's a real problem for unpaid carers who are not all that well supported. So what the trust does, it brings unpaid carers together to share their experiences. It provides respite support, and also it does other activities as well, like takes them out, just kind of takes them out of their environment so that they feel less stressed and got better well-being. But I looked at this and I thought, well, digital's got a huge role to play here, and therefore I wanted to particularly understand what their particular issues were. So I set up this event in March last year to bring all the carers together, and I was going through the kind of list of all things that we needed to cover, like scamming and all these kind of things, scamming and the issue of how you use technology. And I thought, we need to cover AI here because it's developing. Hence, Will came along, introduced by Digital Cheshire.
Yes, an amazing networking group. Honestly, the linchpin between all of us, because I met Paul at another Digital Cheshire event. They're incredible over there, and we give them a shout out in every episode. So,
No, quite right.
So you're welcome.
Yeah, so we held this event, and Will came along, and I had a chat with you, didn't I? And we were talking about, well, what can we do? And you said, well, let's do some demos.
yeah. And it's a cause that really resonates with me, because my whole story of how BlueCap AI started was basically when I was taking care of my father. So being an unpaid carer, and so being able to speak to that group of people was a very exciting prospect to me. And I feel like we got some really amazing feedback from there. We learned quite a lot about the delivery method. And that led to us doing some internal work with the staff, a couple months later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because our initial focus, well, how can this support unpaid carers? So what we did, we kind of recognised that a lot of my previous work was around digital inclusion in Greater Manchester. Really big problem. So I was working with Andy Burnham on the kind of the development of addressing some of the issues for that, and unpaid carers are perhaps the most digitally excluded part of the population. In Cheshire, for example, about 10% of the population are unpaid carers. And if you take into account the people they're caring for, which is probably on average about 1.5 people, it's perhaps 25% actually fall within that area. They're either an unpaid carer or the person that are being cared for, a significant amount of population. And many of those are digitally excluded. We've found through the work that we did. But now, most of them have got mobile phones, smartphones, but they just don't know how to use them.
There's the bigger conversation around that. So I was literally sat with my mother-in-law the other day, and she needed to sign a document that had been sent over for a reference, simply on Word. And I think, oh, I'll just do this, bam, 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 bam. There you go. And she was just like how? Because
Yes.
even a Word document on a phone that she can't set up to sign something, that's so far away from what she knows. And then you've got this super fast AI integration into the world now, and they're like, well, if I can't do that, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's where people like Will would come in.
Absolutely. And that's the point I think we were building to, is this idea of accessibility to the device. But people have the device that they need to use. They just don't feel empowered to use it. They don't have that piece of knowledge, that confidence that, there's a lot of things, scary stuff being said about AI in the news and on social media, and it's all super valid, but these tools are still incredibly useful if used the right way and given the right guardrails. And that's what BlueCap AI does, is show you how to build those guardrails in with special instructions, source documents, and stuff like that, and assisting you with sort of pre-built prompts that so the innovative part of the way that I set these up, at least I think so, is it starts with just a little interview. The first prompt is just runs you through a few questions about what side of support you are looking for. And that's so broad. A carer can talk about their carer concerns. Someone who's looking for their first job can talk about that. Then, without me needing to see or read that at all, I can give you a prompt that searches through that conversation, finds the key points, and says, hey, I think this is what you're trying to do here. Here are some drafts of what your special instructions could look like. And once you approve those, you have to have someone else come in and show you where exactly to copy paste that in. That's the technical step. But once you get over that, you have this little bot that's kind of the Build-A-Bear approach of AI assistance, because it's one that you built yourself. It's built off of your own comments, and you feel like you have ownership in it. And now it has these safe guardrails to make sure that it always stays subordinate to you. It is the assistant, not your doctor, not your lawyer, but your secretary, right? Your legal secretary or your medical secretary.
So that was the thing that I was excited about, the way in which AI has the potential to make a leap forward for those people who are digitally excluded, for them to become empowered. They don't necessarily need to know about websites. They don't need to know about how these things work, like you talked about their Word document and things like that, because AI will solve them from that problem for them. You just need to create the right tools to do it. So those people who are completely digitally excluded now can kind of bypass all the stuff in between about technically how you do it, to have your AI assistant that will do it for you.